Restoring sensation, preventing amputation. Hi, my name is Prithvi Chakraborty, and this is NeuroSole. Millions of people with diabetes walk without realizing they're injuring their own feet. NeuroSole is designed to restore awareness and stop that damage before it becomes irreversible.
Every 30 seconds, someone with diabetes loses a limb. Up to 50% of people with diabetes develop neuropathy, often without realizing it. When sensation is lost, pressure builds silently. Tissue damage begins from the inside out. By the time pain appears, it's often too late. Diabetic foot complications cost billions annually, financially and emotionally. This is not just a medical issue, it's a preventable one. The problem is that today's methods rely on periodic checkups, manual foot inspections, and expensive treatment after damage is already started. By the time an ulcer becomes invisible, tissue breakdown is often already underway. So instead of preventing injury, the system reacts to it. And that's why we ask a simple but powerful question. What if we could detect dangerous pressure patterns the moment they begin, before an ulcer ever forms?
NeuroSole is a smart insole designed specifically for diabetic neuropathy. It works through 4 integrated systems. First, NeuroSole uses a sensor network with embedded pressure, temperature, and moisture sensors tracking conditions that could lead to ulcers or other injuries. Then, an RNN-based AI engine analyzes trends in the collected data over time, identifying cumulative patterns that signal developing risk before injury occurs. The NeuroSole app connects to the insole through an API, allowing real-time sensor data to be translated into personalized health insights.
NeuroSole's total addressable market includes over 350 million people living with diabetes globally, with more than 250 million people at risk of neuropathy. Our initial focus is the US, where 8 to 12 million patients suffer from diabetic neuropathy. With an estimated total of $1.5 to $3 million required to enter the market, this represents a highly scalable opportunity with significant room for expansion. As you can see, the global diabetic neuropathy market is projected to grow from $4.5 billion in 2024 to over $9 billion in 2034. This steady growth reflects a rising global diabetes population and increasing healthcare spending on neuropathy treatment. However, most of this $9 billion market is reactive, and it focuses on managing neuropathy after nerve damage has already occurred, and ultimately, NeuroSole shifts this paradigm from treatment to prevention.
In a small local pilot study with 12 participants at risk for diabetic neuropathy, we observed strong early validation. Over 80% of high-pressure alerts led users to shift their weight within seconds. Prolonged high-pressure exposure time decreased by 35% during walking sessions. Additionally, high-risk pressure zones were accurately detected in 92% of trials. These results show that real-time feedback can change behavior at the earliest stage. We confirmed the need for early pressure detection in diabetic foot care through interviews and built our first working prototype. We then launched a pilot wear study and moved into clinical validation with partner clinics. As we enter the market, we will focus on insurer partnerships while also expanding into sports injury prevention. Our long-term goal is national scale and acquisition by a major healthcare company.
This is a quick snapshot showing how your profit margin drops as customer acquisition cost rises. The green zone, where CAC is under $20, is where you're scaling profitably. But partnerships let us acquire customers far cheaper than paid ads by tapping into trusted referral channels like podiatrists, clinics, and diabetes programs.
Here's how our unit economics work. Our manufacturing cost per unit ranges between $35 and $50, and we are targeting a 55 to 65% gross margin, which is great for a hardware-backed consumer product in this category like ours. If our cost of goods is $35, our selling price would be between $78 and $100. On the higher end, if our cost is $50, our selling price would be between $111 and $143. Overall, our optimal retail range falls between approximately $80 and $140, which aligns with our pricing strategy.
Most existing solutions don't actually prevent injury. Passive insoles simply cushion. Smart wearables track steps. Therapeutic footwear offloads pressure, but only after damage has already occurred. NeuroSole is different. We continuously monitor real-time pressure, temperature, and moisture. Our AI predicts ulcer risk before visible injury forms. We track gait patterns and send preventative alerts the moment risk begins. And we do all of this affordably, without requiring constant medical supervision. We're not just another comfort product. We're preventative medical technology.
I have seen diabetic foot complications for several years, and the most difficult cases are the ones that could have been prevented with earlier intervention. NeuroSole addresses a real gap in care by providing continuous pressure and temperature monitoring in a practical variable form. Instead of reacting to ulcers after they develop, the system helps identify harmful stress patterns before they escalate. That shift toward real-time prevention is exactly where diabetic foot care needs to move. I fully support the development and clinical use of this product.